Back in 2005, they tried an experiment. Congress actually did something that I think was smart. They said, look, we're seeing that a lot of American companies that have operations overseas in other countries and where they're making a profit, those companies aren't bringing those profits back here to America. And the reason they're not is because there's a 35% tax if they bring that money back, whereas they don't pay any taxes if they leave that money in other countries helping those other economies. So for 1 year, they relaxed that tax. They brought it down to, I believe, 5% for just 1 year. And you know what? They brought in over $300 billion in money, American companies' profits that they were not bringing to our country because they were going to be taxed on it. For that 1 year where they didn't get a tax, they brought $300 billion back into our country. So guess what Congress did in 2006 when that expired? Congress let it expire and didn't renew it. So guess what happened to that $300 billion?
It's gone.
It went back out of the country. And it's still sitting over there helping those other countries when it could be helping our country by not raising the tax, by cutting the tax. By cutting the tax, you'd bring that $300 billion back.
I don't know if you were aware of it, but did you ever hear the story of what the Irish did? Their economy was in trouble about 15, 20 years ago, and they decided they were going to cut their corporate taxes really to the bone. They really cut the corporate taxes. Now, in America, we have the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. The Irish went the other way, cut their corporate taxes, and their economy took off like a skyrocket. And they've got more businesses starting and jobs, and their gross domestic product has done fantastically. There is a perfect case study of somebody who used this odd principle that by cutting taxes, you can actually increase revenue. Here's a chart of it. You can see we cut the taxes. Everybody said, oh, the Republicans have ruined the economy because we cut taxes, but take a look at what happens to revenue. Here's a way I was thinking about this. Tell me where it makes sense to you. Let's say you're king for a day, and your job is to put a tax on a loaf of bread. And so you start thinking, you say, I could put a penny on it. Well, but then I'd have to sell a lot of bread to get much money. Or I could charge $100 for a loaf of bread, and then maybe nobody'd buy any. Well, wouldn't common sense say that there's something between a penny and $100 that's sort of the optimum you can tax it? When you increase the tax, you actually get less money. And I think that's what's going on here. As we cut the taxes, the economy takes off, and we end up with more government revenue. And that's exactly your point. And that's the whole idea of the supply side economics.